Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Maxjyork, and one of the things I want to talk about today was Kingdom Hearts. I'm currently replaying Kingdom Hearts on Twitch, twitch.tv/Maxjyork. I'm playing it right now. But one thing I want to talk about is it's one thing I want to talk about is like just growing up with it, and it sucked. Can you imagine like being a little kid, uh first Kingdom Hearts game comes out, it's like, oh, so you get to fight alongside with Donald, Goofy, Mickey, and also with all these cool Final Fantasy characters. Like, it looks so good, it looks so amazing. Which, I will say is like it was a pretty fun game. It was a pretty fun game even to this day. But just having to wait, like I don't know, I don't know the full timeline, but like just having to wait for a while until the second one comes out. Then the second one comes out, and then you meet all these new characters, and you're like, who are they? It's like, who are these characters, new characters? Turns out, but if you're now back then, it's like it was like without internet or anything, like you couldn't necessarily look up, you wouldn't necessarily know like which new game's gonna come out unless you had rich parents, which I grew up middle class in a way. So I will say I was quite fortunate enough to have a Game Boy Advance to be able to play Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. That's between one and two. But like imagine like other kids out there who outright just didn't know, and them having to go into the second one and then like turn around, then like they're asking questions like, who are these people? Then they notice like, oh, another one came out for the Game Boy Advance. So at that point in time you needed two consoles to play Kingdom Hearts on, just to follow with the story. Which I'll say this myself, I didn't keep up with the story at all. I did not understand. The only thing I knew that like Sora was looking for Riku and Kyrie in the first one, and he was still looking for them in the second one. That's all I knew. It was just too convoluted. As a kid, it was just too convoluted. But then you get to play in all these Disney worlds and everything. That was the only reason I played the game, and like I said, it was a pretty fun game as well. But for the people out there that was really fiending for the story, it's too convoluted. It's too convoluted. Sorry, it's just too convoluted. But it's just so convoluted in a way to where like people are deeming it as cinema or whatever. You know, they're just trying to look meaning into it. It's just too much. To me, it's just too much. Even to this day, it's still too much. I've watched countless videos of people like explaining the whole story of Kingdom Hearts, the timelines and everything, and it's still too much. Um, but over like the only reason I'm still playing the Kingdom Hearts to this day is because like I said, like it's a pretty fun game. It's a pretty fun game with a killer soundtrack. It always has each installment has amazing soundtrack. Uh, But back to what I was saying earlier, yeah, it's like so at the times like when two came out, you needed two consoles. You needed a Game Boy Advance and a PS2 to play Kingdom Hearts on, to keep up with the story of Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 2 is like is done, and then you're wondering, it's like, okay, it's like, when's the third one's gonna come out? The third one took a while for it to come out, but in between they came again. You needed another console. You needed Nintendo DS. For I think it was recoded. I believe there's recoded. Uh, the days thing. I think it's 258 days over two. You got that. Then like I think those two in itself just came out on the DS, and I think Birth by Sleep. I think that one came out on no, there's two more actually. There's Birth by Sleep, and there's one more I can't remember, but it's with Ventus and all them, and that in itself was in a different console. You needed a DS for recoded. Uh, I think it was like you need a PSP. I believe it was a PSP or PS Vita, one of them. You needed that for the one with Ventus and all them, and for Birth by Sleep, you needed a 3DS. So that's an additional three consoles that you had to get. And then also when by the time the third one was released, it came out on the on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So going through the line, you needed so for anybody growing up, you needed a PS2 to start with, Game Boy Advance in the middle, PS2 again, and then DS, 3DS, PSP, and now an Xbox One, just to play the whole library of, just to understand the whole, to play the whole games of Kingdom Hearts, the whole series. So that's seven. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Like it's baffling. You know what? Like why are you even gonna go in? I was like, why even go that route? You know, it was just a bit too much. Uh, at the time, and to tell you the truth, I'd never really kept up with like the DS and the 3DS games. That was me and my brother, like because like he had it himself, and like he was the main one, like he's the main one that kept up with it. But me personally, I did not. To tell you the truth, I really didn't know that it came out with that they came out with. I think it was like recoded. I believe I didn't think they came out with recoded until like to the third one, till they came out with these collections for the PS4 or three PS3. They came out with the collections, and I'm like, oh, it's like oh, there's more. Like there's more. I can't believe it. And each game was crucial to the story. You know, it wasn't like a spin-off or it's one thing or it's one time thing. No, it's like it was its own, it was its own story in a grander scheme of things. I think I think Recoded was like the only one where you can generally just skip playing because it didn't add anything. I think it just added like one small piece of information and that was it. It was just something else that like you could just look up on yourself. Um but yeah, it's like but then it's like okay, so like I said, I myself I'm more of a casual fan and playing these games again, I'll keep saying it. It's very fun. It's something that I believe that that everybody should play. If you want to keep up with the story, by all means, keep up with the story. I wouldn't, because it's like it's just a lot. Because like you would I don't know. I just think that like they just need to tone it down and everything. It's just like no. I will say this: like nobody ever really dies in the game in any of the series. It it tries to be this whole dramatic thing, but in the end, but Disney is not gonna allow Mickey to get impaled or anything like that or any of its properties. And I think Final Fantasy is kind of the same way too. I generally can't remember if anybody dies. I think the Grandmaster, I think in Birth by Sleep did. I think he was like the only one, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but uh, you was like, and then now it's like it's coming out with all these other stuff that's coming out, and I know like they had like a couple mobile games, and I think one mobile game in particular actually kind of added on to the story. I really don't know. I just need to look up a whole like a whole timeline again, but I'm probably not. um the game is like that. It's just so fun. It's just so fun to play with. And uh I will say this though, like, but the thing about it is that like the whole story in itself, like each game, while yes, has their own story, but it has a story within the story because you're going, like I said, you for those of you who hasn't played Kingdom Hearts, you go into these worlds, which it's each Disney world, like Mulan, uh, Lion King, and like just all those different worlds out there, and you those in itself, like you're basically replaying the movie. It's just with Sora, the main character, Sora or whoever is in it, and then and those aren't entirely um it's its own, it's just its own separate thing, and it's just mainly a way for sword to learn a lesson or whatever. It ain't until like you get to uh like Traverse Town or anything like that that is where like things actually happen. Other than that, it's like it's just like bits and pieces to where like it's not I will say this that like you forget that you're playing an overall story because you get so caught up in these Disney worlds, and then it tells like it's like, oh, we got to go beat Organization 13 or anything like that, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I thought I was here to save Timon and Pumbaa or whatever. Sorry, a little sick right now, but it does in a way where like I will say there's a lot in the third one they mixed it in to where like it does where like you're not replaying the whole movie. It does come was like they do like kind of mix it in well in the third one, but like I said, like in the I think over I don't know, but I know one and two. I can't say for all the games because I didn't play them, but I know one and two they kind of uh like I said you're replaying the whole movie. Um, but which now uh like coming from a casual fan, it's just something that I would not keep up with. If you're not one to like unless like if you really want to know the story, you have to dive deep into it and know every single detail because every single detail has its own if and what, and don't give too much thought into it because if you think too much about some of these stories, then their own rules in the world, if you think about it a little bit too hard, then you're just gonna hurt yourself because I can't name anything specifically, but I know there's a couple times I like I thought about it, I'll be like, wait, don't that kind of wait, if that happened, then what about the other thing? It's just um but like I said, it's a very good thing that the game is very fun to play. And also like and growing up with it, like it did suck. And not to sound like an old head or anything, but these kids got it lucky. It's in its own collection. You get to play all the games and everything. It's all right there. You didn't have to wake up in a cold sweat every night wondering if they ever gonna release a Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 3. What other consoles do you need? You probably was like you might as well go get all of them just in case they released one. Just in case they release one like just somewhere, and then you have to play it, or otherwise you wouldn't get unless like or you are missing a very crucial piece into the story. Oh no. uh oh man, but like I said, like if you have a chance to play it, and if you really are like a RPG type of person and you like Disney, uh play the game. It's very fun. uh But yes, like I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like I said, like I'm playing it on Twitch. I might be streaming right now. Who knows? Just join it. Just click on the link. I think I'll put the link in the bio, not a bio, uh, in wherever description. But yes, like just come in, join in, and tell me your all experience with what you had growing up with Kingdom Hearts. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What you think of it overall? And also like let me know like what other topics should I talk about. Alrighty. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.